this is Mrs. G from Irwin Academy, and I'm here to teach us a cool add-on for Google Slides. So as you can see, I have open right now a Google Slide presentation all ready to go and to deliver to students at home. But I want to make it interactive and exciting for my students. And how am I going to go about doing that? We are going to use the add-on called Pear Deck, as you can see at the my toolbar at the top of my Google Slides here. However, if you have yet to try Pear Deck, if you go to add-ons, get add-ons, you'll be able to quickly add this into your Google slideshow. So you simply select on the Pear Deck and you add it in. Now, once you have your slide presentation up and ready to go, you click on the Pear Deck to get this sidebar view here. So I'm going to move my picture out of the way so you can see the full sidebar here. Now, this will make your presentation interactive and dynamic with your students at home. I highly recommend this tool. However, today I'm really going to focus on the SEL portion of this tool. And what I mean is we need to do our check-ins with our students to see how they're doing at home during this crisis. So I really recommend this tool to do an awesome check-in with your students as you get them either online or if you were to run this via a Google Classroom. So right here, there's toolbar. If we go to the template library and we scroll down to the social emotional learning templates. And the great thing is that I don't have to use every single template every single time. It's something that I can put at the beginning or the end of my presentation to simply check in on how my students are feeling, where my students are at. The one I really like to put at the beginning before I start teaching is this one. All I have to do is simply select on the one I would like to use. It's going to insert it directly into my presentation. So it's not going to change anything to the rest of my slides. It's going to create a whole new slide just in the actual presentation itself. So as you can see, it's now inserted the slide. And it's a great way to connect with your students. What is filling your bucket today and what's draining it? Just ask them to get that feel for them. It's completely anonymous when they answer to you. And in the background, it records so you can go back and look and really understand your students. And I'll show you what I mean by that. There's also some other great ones here. We have the stress checker. I'm going to input that one so you can see what that one looks like as well. That one is on a scale of 1 to 10, and that kind of lets us check in to see how they're feeling for the day as well. And then another one that I really like to use at the end of a lesson is the one down below, which is, what did you find easy about the lesson? What did you find interesting? What was hard or difficult today? They have some really great pre-made templates for you to use to just do that little simple check-in with your kids. Now, what makes this interactive versus just a regular slideshow? If you go to start your lesson, if you notice, I'm not pressing present. We're going to the Pear Deck start your lesson. I'm going to make this interactive. So now that we see this screen, you have two different modes you can go by. We have the student pace activity, which the student gets to go through the slide presentation at their own pace, or we can do the instructor pace activity where the instructor is controlling how they move through the slideshow. It's up to you how you would want to use it. If you want to send this out as a Google Classroom assignment, then you might want to use student pace. If you are doing it via a Zoom meeting, maybe you want to do instructor pace. It's kind of up to you. So I'm going to start us in instructor pace because I'm going to show you how you can turn it to student pace really quickly. So I select instructor pace, and it's going to now load that kind of coding onto the slideshow. It's going to launch the presentation, and it's going to look and feel kind of just a little different than your regular Google Slides presentation. It's also going to have a teacher dashboard up and running for you so that you can kind of track students' progress kind of secretly in the background, so that if you do show answers to your students, it's anonymous and it's not with the student names attached, which I absolutely love. So I'm just waiting for this to load, and I'm going to get the special code from Pear Deck here. And we're going to take this, and I'm going to show you the teacher mode and the student mode. So your students are now going to go to join pd.com and insert this code. So I'm going to take us to another screen. We are going to put in joinpd.com. And we are going to enter in that code. This is what the students are going to see on their side. So once they're launched into your screen, this is what it looks on their side. They cannot do anything on this screen right now because we are currently in teacher mode. I can't go forwards, I can't go backwards. They have to go at the same pace as you. That is the teacher mode. However, when we go to start our class, I can choose, maybe after a couple slides and students are starting to know a couple things, I can choose to turn it on student pace mode. When I turn it on to student pace mode, you'll see the difference in that now my student over here now has a toggle to go through the different slides. So I'm going to stay in student pace mode so you can see how it interacts, and then we'll go back to the teacher mode to kind of see what the teacher sees on their side. So here's the student pace mode, and here's the what is filling your bucket today and what's draining it. So the student can choose to write with a pencil, so to speak, or they can choose to type their answer. It is kind of completely up to them. I have to tell you, the kids love doing this and they really enjoy interacting with it. On our side, what we'll be able to see is here's our presentation, but I can select show responses. And so it's now going to show me all the student responses in the classroom. In the background, remember I said it's recording the teacher, it's recording information on to the students, and I can go to the separate screen and it shows Cassandra Gartung is logged in and that's how she answered. I'm not going to show this to students. I'm only going to show this to students so that we can have a discussion over things if we need to. They also, on the next screen, this is our stress check. If you notice, it's a little different. The previous one was a drawing tool. This is a draggable, and they can drag their icon wherever they need to go. So I'm in a good space, something's bothering me, to I just can't concentrate at all. And they can continue to click through. Remember, these are all templates. I can just do one at the beginning, one at the end, wherever you feel like you need to use it. And then I can go about teaching my lesson, so to speak. If you notice, I can continue. Lesson was already Pear Decked, so I've made a few interactive questions in here as well. If you notice on this screen, you can answer the question either A, B, C, or D. That is for a whole nother video. Right now, I really want to concentrate on this SEL piece. So after we've presented and we are done, we are now going to end our session, and that will we can either say, yes, I want to leave this session, or leave them in there and allow them to keep on working. If we're on student pace, leave them in there and allow them to continue working. Now that we've ended the lesson, I want to show you one more thing you can do with these. These are amazing pre-made templates. However, you do not have to keep it the way it is. You can edit every single one of them. So for example, I don't like the way they word this. So maybe I want to just ask simply, what puts you in the red today? What puts you in the yellow? What puts you in the green? I can make them my own so that they fit the needs of my students. You can also do this with the stress checker. Maybe you want a more positive word than the word stress. You can easily edit this, and maybe you want to do a confidence check and see where they're at. So remember that even though these are templates, you can edit them all. Once again, if you look in the template gallery, you can find SEL as well as beginning, during, end of lesson, and example questions as well as every subject. Thanks for joining me today. I hope you get to touch base with all our little students. Bye.